Amen. Our word for today is coming from the book of Judges. Judges chapter 6. Judges chapter 6, beginning at verse 11. The angel of the Lord came and sat down under the oak of Ophrah that belonged to Joash the Abiezrite, where his son Gideon was threshing wheat in a winepress to keep it from the Midianites. When the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." "Pardon me, Lord," Gideon replied, "but if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? Where are all his wonders that our ancestors told us about when they said, 'Did not the Lord bring us up out of Egypt?' But now the Lord has abandoned us and given us into the hands of the Midianites." The Lord turned to him and said, "Go in the strength that you have and save Israel out of the Midianites' hands. Am I not sending you?" "Pardon me, my Lord," Gideon replied, "but how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest of Manasseh, and I am the least in my family." The Lord answered, "I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites, leaving none alive." Verse 14, and the Lord turned and said to him, "Go in the strength that you have and save Israel out of the Midian's hand." Verse 16, and the Lord answered, "I will be with you." From those verses of scripture, I just like to read. I like to speak from this. See it through. See it through to the end. See it through to the end. Amen. I've gone to many football games, and what I've found to be, I don't want to say it's traditional, but what I've come to find, realizing, see that for all the games that I've attended, for the most part, when your team is losing, especially around the third quarter, and the score is so high that you feel that your team has no possibility whatsoever of coming back, you begin to exit the stadium. You forget about the fourth quarter. You done made a determination that it's over. The game is over. But there have been times where when you left the stadium and got in your car heading home and you turn your radio on, you find that the game is tied up with a few minutes left in the game, and your team got the ball on the goal line. And now you wish you stayed there and saw it through to the end. Sometimes that's how life is. Sometimes we get to the point in our lives to where we decide that it's over, and we begin to make decisions and just do things that we don't get an opportunity to see it through to the end. We miss out on a lot of our blessings. We miss out on a lot of opportunities in life when we just give up, when we throw in the towel. When we feel that we don't have no breath left in our bodies to make another step, we give up. instead of turning it over to God. We want to ask you today, see it through. See whatever trial, whatever tribulation, whatever thing that's going on in your life, see it through to the end. I've had a lot of disappointments in my life. I've had some times where I had my head hung down and just wanted to just throw in the towel. But just kept waking up in the morning. Kept going to bed at night and come to realize that, you know, the songwriter, what he says, trouble don't last always. I come to realize and I come to find out that that's a fact. And it's good that we begin to just take advantage of those small things. You know, just look at the tiny things that God has done for us and is doing for us. And he's justifying and he's verifying in many ways that he's still a way maker. He's still making ways out of no way. But as a part of my life, sometimes there's a heaviness that may come upon us that we feel that we can't shake. And we want to attribute this to our friend. We buried him yesterday. That there comes a time when you have a depression that may come in your life that you feel that you can't handle. And, you know, sometimes we feel like we're healthy and strong and you know, like can't nothing stop us. Sometimes we feel like we're Superman. Sometimes we feel like that we can just go and go and go and go. That we're like the ever-ready battery. We just keep going and just keep going and keep going. And not realizing and not knowing, you know, what you're doing to, you know, yourself. There's times where you have to find yourself sitting by the beach. Sometimes you have to find yourself sitting and just admiring the mountainsides. You know, sometimes you need to see what it feels like to ride on a riverboat and cruise down the shores of California and just take a break from life and come to realize that you know, that there are times where even in the midst of all your storms that there's a peace somewhere. There's a bright sunshine in the midst of all the clouds. They can never get so high to where the sun doesn't continue to shine. And so we gotta find a place. We gotta find a special place. And when we find ourselves in heaviness, when we find ourselves where it tends to get a little hopeless, when we find ourselves where we're in despair, that we gotta see it through to the end. The Bible is very clear about the spirit of heaviness. It's connected to a depressed life. And when one is going through a depressed life, the root cause of it is that we have a dysfunctional connection with God. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have a relationship. It doesn't mean that you don't know God. It doesn't mean that you're not. Right now you're going through a dysfunction. That's, you know, it could be where you know the word, but you don't have enough capacity to where the word is made clear to you. You know, there's a lot of people that know the word, but they do not know how to apply the word. Yeah, that's one thing in knowing, but application is another story. And when you begin to apply the word of God, you come to realize it, and that you'll come to find out that the root of it is Christ. The root of it is not you. The root of it is not your interpretation. The root of it is Christ. And so this dysfunction comes in our misinterpretation of the word. But I'm here to tell you, people can come up with all kinds of things about God's word. And they'll try to explain it to you in all kinds of ways. And then they'll try to make you see it the way they see it. But let me just tell you here. God's word speaks for itself. God's word will stand on its own. I don't even have to go up and elaborate, but I can just get up here and read the word. But sometimes we in ministers to God, we have to elaborate because of the audience. But it shouldn't be necessary. Yeah, it shouldn't be where we have to get excited to allow you to find excitement in Christ. We shouldn't have to get all stimulated and emotional and gyrating and all that for you to get excited about Christ. Sometimes it's necessary. I hear the song say it's necessary. What Christ did was necessary. Sometimes it's necessary. Praise is necessary. Worship is necessary. The preaching of the word is necessary. But I'm here to tell you today that there are times where I sit up under preachers Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday and still found myself in a state of depression. Still find myself in a state of hopelessness. But God's word will still stand for itself. But there are times when we have this misinterpretation of the word. And we gotta stop having this dysfunctional connection with God and just have a connection, a loving relationship with God. So for us as Christians, for us to have this connection with God, we have to have a renewed mind. You got to have this mind where you're thinking positively. Now, I'm not talking about this Oprah stuff, this secret stuff, this stuff where you speak and it's supposed to just come into existence. You got to have a renewed mind in Christ, a mind that where you're standing on the Word of God. Where you're reminiscing when you're going through some difficult times and some hard times in your life, that where you say, well, the 3 Hebrew boys said that if he don't save me, I know that he's able. See, we gotta have a renewed mind. But see, our mind is that, Lord, I need you to do this with expectations of God doing it. But see, God don't work like that. You got to have a renewed mind and know that God is able to do anything but fail. But there are times where you're gonna cut your finger. You're gonna break your leg. You're gonna be in an accident. You're gonna be in some difficult time. But you can call on God and say, I know that you are able. But see, sometimes our heartaches and pains overcomes us so much to where we forget about God. I know if I was standing and about to walk in some fire 7 times hotter, then that's going to take my mind off of God. But if you got a renewed mind and if you just walk, and every little small experience become a medium experience, and every medium experience become a larger experience, you're growing in God. Your mind is being renewed, and you see, when he worked the little things out, he can work the medium things out. If he worked the medium things out, he can work the large things out in our lives. And so we got to begin to have a renewed mind. If we don't renew our mind, we're going to just continue to evolve into that hopelessness. We're going to continue to evolve in that depression. And the more you think about it, the worse it can get. I've heard them say a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I'm here to tell you that some things that you've never experienced before in your life, but your mind can take you there. Your mind can put you in situations that you've never been before. Your mind can create things that's so horrible that you'll never want to go there or be there or do that. But that's how your mind works. But you got to begin to turn it over to God and have a renewed mind and think positively about what God has done and what God can do. So how do we overcome and how can we be able to see ourselves through depression? see ourselves through hopelessness? How can we see it when the doctors are shaking their heads and giving up on us? Well, the only way that we can defeat oppression is that we got to find to be a way to be thankful. Thankful to Jesus Christ. We look for the large things to be thankful about. But I'm here to tell you right now, I don't know how many times I breathed in and out. But that was a time to say thank you. When I inhaled, I should have exhaled thank you. Because that's another blessing of God. You see, we got to find the large things. We got to find the big things. And we got to see the noticeable things. But there are times where we can just say thank you. Just for opening our eyes in the morning. Thank you for allowing us to wake up and in our right mind and in our right spirit. We can't find thankful because we don't have and see nothing to be thankful about. We allow the enemy to come in and work in our lives and orchestrate our lives and put us in a state of hopelessness because we're not finding Jesus. But there are millions of things that you can be thankful for. You can thank him for your health. You can thank him for your house, and you can thank him for your job, and thank him that you're able to comb your hair, and thank him for being able to brush your teeth, and thank you just opening your eyes and seeing things differently, working with your mind and your heart, and thank you for relationships, and thank you for my husband and my children. You can look all around and have things to be thankful for. So we got to thank God. We got to thank God in all things. Because in all things, he's worthy to be praised. So how do we do it? James 1:17 says, all good things come from above. Everything that you got, everything that you see that is good comes from God. Everything that you, oh, I like this. When you say, oh, I like this, you should say, thank you. When you say that, that's good, you should say, thank you. All good things comes from God. Our circumstance in life, we have our ups and we have our downs. But in all things, we should give thanks. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, in everything give thanks. For this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. We should give thanks in everything to God. We find where in Isaiah 61 it says, put on the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. You got to praise God when you're going down. You can't go calling on your buddies. You can't go calling on other folks to come and be down with you. You can't be calling on other folks and telling them, pray for me. You can't be calling on other folks and telling them I'm going through some hard times. I'm going through some difficult times. But what we need to do is put on that garment of praise. You can get symbolic about it if you want to. Just begin to dress in yourself and begin to praise God while you're putting your socks on or your stockings on. Begin to praise God when you're putting your shoes on. Just pretend like you're putting on your robe of praise and pretend like you're just dressing yourself up because you're getting ready to give God your all in all. You're getting ready to worship him in spirit and in truth. Because I'm going through depression. I'm going through a spirit of hopelessness. And I cannot handle this all by myself. I got to turn this thing over to God. And the only way God said do it is I got to strip myself down of feeling the way that I feel. And I got to turn it over to God. And I got to worship him. I got to turn it all to him. I got to praise him. I got to rejoice in him. I got to glorify him. I got to give him all in all. I got to strip myself down and put on my garment of praise. Paul in Acts 16, he was thrown in prison for a girl following him, talking about that he was a man of God. But listen, Paul turned around and he blessed the girl. He rebuked the demon that was in her, and she became free, born again. But for him doing the will of God, got arrested, got put in prison, shackles on his feet. Now Paul could have been out there complaining. He could have been out there just saying, why are you incarcerating me? There are other folks that's doing worse things than I'm doing. He could have been just crying and weeping and writing letters and saying, call a congressman because I've been done wrong, and call my lawyer because I've been mistreated. He could have just said all kinds of things. But this is what Paul done in his state of hopelessness. Paul and Silas got together while they was in jail, and they put on the garment of praise. They began to pray, and they began to sing hymns, and God came into the place, and God turned the thing out. You need to call on God when you feel like you've been mistreated, when you feel like you've been lied on, when you feel like you've been talked about and rebuked and scorned. Don't worry about it. Do what God said. Do like Paul did. Go down on your knees and grace yourself with praise. Grace yourself with the presence of God. Begin to sing, Lord, I thank you for being the God that you are. Thank you, Lord, through many dangers, toils, and snares. I have already come. It was your grace that brought me thus far, and your grace that's going to lead me on. We got to call on God. We got to let him know that he's able to provide us with the prescriptions that we need in our times of trouble. Depression will bring it down. But we cannot give place to depression. We can't give place to hopelessness. But we got to find a place to where we can give praise to God, where we can give thanks to God. Now we can't just come to church just to be coming to church. Because sometimes there are some messy things that goes on in church on Sunday morning. So you got to keep your mind stayed on Jesus. But listen here, you got to give thanks to God not only on Sunday morning, but you got to give him thanks throughout the week. Because after Sunday morning, things get messy on Monday morning. Things get messy on Tuesday morning. Sometimes even the people that you sleep with forget about they worship with you on Sunday morning and get messy on Monday morning. And so you got to be able to give God thanks. We got to always thank God. Thank God through all kinds of messiness. Thank God through all times when we feel like there's hopelessness. Now the Bible speaks of depression in Proverbs 12 and 25. It says, anxious in the heart of man causes depression, but a good word makes it glad. Matthew 11 and 28, it says, come to me all who are weary and burden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, because I'm gentle in heart, and you'll find rest for your soul. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. Sometimes we think that we are the only one that goes through hard times, trials, and tribulations. But even those whom God talked about, those great men in the Bible, have went through some hard times and trials and tribulations. We talk about Paul. Paul went through some hard times. Jeremiah went through some hard times. Isaiah went through some hard times. If they went through some hard times, even you yourself gonna go through some hard times. Jesus went through some hard times. He went through some difficult times. He went through some trying times. But yet he kept his eyes on the prize. He kept on looking unto Jesus. He kept on looking up to his Father. And see, we have somebody we can look up to. We have somebody we can call on to. Now in Judges 6 we find Gideon. Gideon thinking he's a weak man. Gideon here feels like he's hopeless. Gideon here in despair. Gideon here going through some hard times and trials and tribulations. Every time he gets a nickel, he got to spend a dime. Every time he goes through one thing and come out of it, he finds himself in another. Every year, time and time, he decides to plant a garden. And then the Midianites come in and take all his fruit and then trample the rest of it. I know you go through some hard times. I know you go through some difficult times. I know there are times where you don't know when you're going to be able to make it all by yourself. But let me hear you tell you, turn it over. Turn it over to Jesus. See this thing through. When your trials come in your life, don't throw in the towel. See it through. See it through to the end of your road. Gideon found himself threshing wheat out of the sight of the Midians, and find him a place to where he can be hopeless all by himself, where he can be depressed all by himself. But God found him in a depressed place, and where he found that he thought he was all hopeless. But God came to him, told him, you are not hopeless. You will not run down. You will not toe up from the floor. But I'm here to tell you that you are a warrior. You are valiant. You are a man of God. You are able to get through the storms of life. Every battle that's before you, you shall conquer it. God here is trying to tell you, see it through.
I'm just a young lady passing through, telling the world about Jesus and what he can do. Sometimes on this journey, life seems so hard, but I wouldn't have it no other way. But the storms, they gonna come, and the wind is sure to blow. But one thing I know, prayer will change things. Oh, prayer will change things. And I want you to know, I will trust you when I'm happy. I will trust you when I'm sad. I will trust you when when I'm going through. I will trust you when they scandalize my name. I will trust you to do what you say you would do. Oh, Lord, Jesus, yes, Jesus, Jesus. There were times when I couldn't see, my way through, Lord, and I didn't know what to do. Sometimes I had to cry late in the midnight hour, but I remember when God said to me, oh Lord, though I walk, I won't faint, and though I run, I won't get weary, y'all. I'm gonna mount up with wings like an eagle. When I'm going through, I will trust. Oh, when I'm happy, I will trust. When I'm sad, I will trust. When they scandalize my name, I will trust to do what you said you would do. Sometimes I have to get all by myself and call on Jesus. Oh, Jesus, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. When they scandalize my name, I say Jesus. When I can't see my way, I say Jesus. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. When I need somebody to talk to, I can call Jesus. Oh, when I don't know what the end's gonna be, I say Jesus. I'm a living witness. If you trust Jesus, He will see you through. Oh, oh, Jesus, Jesus. Trust Jesus.